punch in, and we call that stealing you, would end up being the one that won in the end. So I'm going to let people know I got the first punch in. Now, what have I done? Well, I wouldn't go along with the corruption and the fraud that was going on at the EEOC, and I'm telling you, it's pretty bad. It's not a little bad. It's very bad. And it revolves around corrupt lawyers, corrupt managers in the government, and we are corrupt as individuals because we allow all this to happen.
I can definitely attest to that.
Right. They're using us as the people.
I can attest to it.
They're using us as the people. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say I can attest to that, and I wanted to get more into what do you mean when you say it's corrupt from the managers, and, give us an example of what you mean.
Well, most people that work at the EEOC really are not sure what they're supposed to do. So that means if the managers and if the lawyers and if the directors and if the chairwoman is guiding the EEOC to dismiss all complaints for African Americans or just dismiss all complaints because of the volume of complaints are going in, there are many people that don't even have the values enough to say, no, I'm not going to do it. Now, I happen to have said, no, I'm not going to do it. And as a result of me saying no, that I'm not going to go along with these illegal practices, then they terminated me in retaliation. Now, let me get specific.
So what you're saying basically, yeah, that's what I want to ask. What you're saying specifically is that, I say, for example, I come in and somebody's done something to me on my job regarding my race. They fired me. What you're telling us is that the investors are not investigating the cases, or are they investigating the cases and then saying there's no discrimination? How, in fact, does it work?
If you walk in the door of the EEOC office and you're black, you might as well just automatically ask for a right to sue and go straight to federal court on your own because your case will be dismissed, period. Now, if anybody doubt what I'm saying, go to the EEOC's website, eeoc.gov, and look at the statistics. Now, they find reasonable cause in race cases, and that says all race cases. It's not broken down by black or Asian or any other race group, but they say they find reasonable cause. That means they found discrimination 3% of the time. Now, what does that tell anybody? If they only found discrimination 3% of the time, that means 97% of the other time they didn't find anything. Then they call any other means of resolving a case to include a dismissal, a resolution. Now, a dismissal is not a resolution. A dismissal is a dismissal. And when you go into federal court with a case that's been dismissed by the EEOC, you got a snowball's chance in hell. You really got a snowball's chance in hell anyway. But if it's been dismissed and you try to go to federal court, you don't stand a chance at all. So just because you black walk into the EEOC, the civil rights laws were basically created for black people. They've already made up their mind that they're going to dismiss your complaint. And the statistics state that.
So a dismissal means that they haven't done any type of investigation to find any facts that support what you're saying. And so it makes it harder for you, if you get a lawyer then, to go into court to try to fight this case.
All right. Since you brought up the business with a lawyer, it's a waste of time for you to get a lawyer. You're just throwing your money away. All the lawyers know that the EEOC is corrupt. Now, take it from the point of view of lawyers knowing that the EEOC is corrupt. Now, what would a lawyer do if they knew the government was corrupt? They become corrupt also. And they're even afraid to come forward and to expose the EEOC for their corruption because their bread and butter is based on going along with the corruption at the EEOC. Now, why is the EEOC corrupt? Because it makes a lot of money. It makes a lot of money for lawyers, clerks, process servers, judges, and senators and congresspeople. So it's easier just to look the other way. When you talk about investigations not going on, first of all, they don't have a whole lot of people that are really qualified to conduct an investigation at the EEOC. They have no civil rights lawyers at the EEOC or most of the other government agencies that are supposed to check up on the EEOC. So if you have non-civil rights attorneys at the EEOC, then what civil rights business is going to go on? Zero. There's a shortage of black attorneys at the EEOC. That's part of the major problem. Now, Ms. Jacqueline Behrens, who is the chairwoman of the EEOC, and I did say her name, right, came from the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. Now, the assumption would be when Ms. Jacqueline Behrens took over the EEOC, like 1 April 2010, that's the same day that I was terminated, by the way, that she would have brought a group of black lawyers from the NAACP or the NAACP Legal Defense Fund to help straighten out the EEOC. I would love Ms. Behrens to produce the list of the black lawyers that she brought with her, because there's only one black attorney in the New York District Office, trial attorney. There's one black administrative judge or attorney examiner, and there's one in Boston, and that's from everything north of Trenton all the way up to the tip top of Maine, and from Connecticut all the way out to Buffalo. One black attorney. Two. One in Boston and one in New York City. Now, how can that work? There are more Asian attorneys in the New York District Office than there are black attorneys. And New York is not the capital for Asian people. Maybe San Francisco is, but not New York. New York has the largest black and African-American and foreign-born black community in the country. In New York City alone, there's almost 3 million African-Americans and foreign-born blacks, and you got one black trial attorney? I mean, that's the reality right there. But where are the attorneys Ms. Jacqueline Behrens was supposed to bring with her? So that tells you basically where Jacqueline Behrens is coming from.